Well, I got the picture.
Hey guys, this is Press Any Button. We are back with the Run and Gun series, and we got something pretty exciting this time round. We're going to be doing some upgrades for our character. Now, I'm not going to lie, this took me some time to figure out, but it's just because there was quite a simple thing that I had to do in Visual Studio that took me a little bit to figure out, that I'll talk about in a second. But for now, let's just jump in. I'm going to give you a close demonstration of how we can set up our new shot and all that stuff, just so you can have an idea of what you might do yourself. Now, this is gonna be sort of a template for you guys. This is going to be a way that you can figure out, all right, I want my shots to be like this and that and that and this. So you don't have to follow what I'm doing religiously, because all I'm trying to do is provide you a way to get that stuff done. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna go a little step by step with creating a new shot, just so we have a good idea of how we set this whole thing up, so that you guys can continue to use this method, or even innovate on the method and give some feedback on how you made it even better. So we need to create a shot. What's the first thing we're going to do? First thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Photoshop, and we're going to create some frames of animation for our shot, but I've already done that. Second thing we're going to do is import that. I've already done that. And the third thing we're going to do is cut up that animation. So I have my sprite sheet selected here in our assets window. You can see that my folder management is struggling, but that doesn't matter right now, even though it actually does. Anyway, so we're going to go sprite mode, make it multiple. You're going to hit apply down here, or it's going to give you a warning to tell you to apply it before you open up the sprite editor. Once you have the sprite editor open, you go to slice, automatic, slice. Make sure the boxes match up with what you want. When I sliced my stuff, I had individual boxes for these little circles here, and I didn't want that, so I had to delete those and then adjust my boxes again. And now I'm just going to exit that. If I had moved anything around, it would have asked me to apply just before I closed the window, but because I've got everything sorted in a way that I like it, I'm not going to change that. Alright, now I select my first frame of animation, select my last frame of animation, holding that shift. I drag it into the hierarchy over here, and it asks me if I want to create a new animation. Name the animation whatever, throw it in the animation window. I'm going to cancel because I've already done that. Alright, now I'm just going to go straight to the prefab for that. So you can see I'm going to zoom in on this, and you can see that I've got an animation working. I've got a couple of other components on this game object too. What are those? Alright, so I got a circle collider 2D. How do we add that? Add component, you type in col, and then you can have that option for circle collider 2D. You add that to your game object, and then you set it to is trigger, because we don't want this actually colliding with anything. We just want that collider to act as a trigger. And then we got a rigid body here. I set this to dynamic, which means it will use gravity, but that's not a problem, because as you saw in that demonstration, this kind of shot follows our enemy, and once our enemy is out of the scene, it'll just fall into nothingness. And that's kind of better than just having it stuck in the middle of our scene. Brilliant. Now we've got our enemy destruction script, which is a script that you should have attached to your bullet. So if we go over to our player here, I see my shot under my player shots, and then I can follow that through to the assets, and I find my player shot, and then I have that enemy destruction script right here. I've made the attack damage 1. If you remember correctly, this script, if we go and take a look at it, so this script pretty much says you have an attack damage, and once you collide with our enemy game object, it's just going to destroy the game object that this is attached to, which is pretty good. Going back to my little game object here. And then the next thing that we have is an individual script for the behavior of our shot. So for this one, I used some of that move direction script that we had from before when we were making our tracker shots. and I put all that script into void update instead of void start. So it's going to continually follow our enemy game object, that game object that is tagged enemy, and I've set the speed to 2. Alright, so for now we've set up a new shot, and we just want to figure out how we can apply that to our character. So let's go over to Visual Studio, where we're just going to go code heavy. It's going to be pretty simple and pretty straightforward though. Okay, in Visual Studio we're just going to start off with that script for that new game object. So hop back real quick. So you would have gone add component, new script, called it whatever the shot type is, or whatever you want it to be. And I've got flamethrower, the script, up here. So I've got a public float, which is speed. I've referenced the rigid body, which is shot. I've got a vector 2, which is move direction, and a game object is enemy. So we got that rigid body, and then we say, all right, we got to find the game object with the tag enemy. And once we've got that enemy game object, we want to close up the distance between our game object and that enemy game object by a factor of speed, which is a float that we can manipulate in the inspector. And then shot velocity, so the velocity that we travel at is going to be move direction X and move direction Y. So it's going to move along the X and the Y axis to bridge that gap between us and our enemy game object. And this is the script that's just attached to my flamethrower. As I said, we're talking about things that are really customizable. If you don't want a shot to act like this, you don't need to use it, but I'm giving you an example of how you can have multiple types of shots attached to one character, which is your player. Alright, so we go to the player shot script, and we got a couple new things happening here. So previously we would have just had public game object shot, and now we've got public game object shotgun and public game object flamethrower. So these are the two new game objects that I'm going to be using. Shotgun is like our standard shot, only it's a little bit wider, and I'm going to have a greater speed on it and greater damage, and flamethrower is our tracking shot, which we saw before. And then all the rest is pretty much the same here. Now the stuff that's different is that we've got these public floats set up here. So we've got shotgun ammo current equals 0, shotgun ammo max equals 10. So this is going to be our ammo limit, and this is going to be our current ammo. This will allow us to create an ammo limit in a bit, and we've got the same thing set up for our flamethrower. Really, you just got to focus on one of these, because once we get one sorted, we can have an infinite number of cases like this. And then I got some balls set up here. So I've got ball FT ready, so that stands for flamethrower ready. And I've got a ball SG ready, which means shotgun ready. And then I've got ball shot ready, which is our default shot. Our default shot is the shot we're going to be using straight away, and that's set to true. And then everything else is set to false. Why does it matter that we have this set to true and these set to false? Well, in void update, we've changed a couple of things with our shooting script. So if you remember before, this didn't exist. We didn't need any other condition except from if input.getKey and then whatever key. But now we've set an extra condition. So the condition needs to be if shot ready is true. And shot ready is true immediately when we start the game. And it will also be true in a different circumstance, which we'll discuss in a second. So everything's the same here. I've just said if shot ready equals true. I've put a bracket on top here, and then at the end of all of our script for that, I've put another bracket there so we don't have a passing error. Now what's controlling if these things are true or false? So we've got void on trigger enter 2D. So we're going to say, all right, once you enter a certain game object, which is going to be our upgrade icons, which we'll create in a second, these are going to have a tag which is called UGSG. And if it's UGSG, which is upgrade shotgun, then shotgun ready is going to be true. And then we're going to set shot ready to false. And then we're going to make shotgun ammo current equal shotgun ammo max, which means that the current ammo, which is 0, at the start of the game is going to become 10, which is the amount that we have currently for our ammo max. How are we going to count down and make sure that we are actually shooting just 10 shots? Well, we go down here and you'll see that I've actually copied and pasted all of our script here. So pretty much all of this stuff that we've previously used, all of these get key codes and things, I just copied that. I added this line, if ft ready equals true and flamethrower is greater than 0, added a bracket, and then just paste all that in between here and make sure that you have a bracket at the end. Let's discuss this little line here. So I was actually looking at the wrong bit, but it works the same for both of them. So you just make that line and then paste it in here. So if SG ready is true, and we know that it becomes true if we enter that game object with the tag UGSG, and then the shotgun ammo current is greater than 0. So we need to have a value of greater than 0 in the float shotgun ammo current, which we know is true because that value is going to be the same value as our ammo max, which is 10, definitely greater than 0. Then if we press W, we're going to fire rate and all that stuff, and we're going to instantiate. And here's the difference: shotgun, we're not going to instantiate shot, because you'll see in my normal shot script it would be shot here. We've actually got a different game object in here, and that is the game object you want to associate with that particular upgrade, with that particular bull. So SG, I'm putting in shotgun. We don't have to touch any of this, and then we have shotgun ammo minus equals 1. So the amount that we're going to take away from that shotgun ammo current float is going to be 1. So minus 1. And then we have that added in for every little line. So these are the only changes that we make here. We change the game object and we add this little line. We reference that float, minus equals 1, and then just end it with that semicolon. Now what happens if we run out of all of our ammo? Well, we're not going to just stop shooting, stop playing the game. We want to go back to our default bullets. How are we going to do that? Well, I've got an else if statement, and this is the thing that actually messed me up for a long time because I was not using this. We have this statement which allows us to have a different condition, which is really important. So else if shotgun ammo current is less than or equal to 0, then we go straight back to shot ready equals true. So we've got two instances here. We've either got ammo, and great, we can just fire using these lines of script, or we don't have any ammo, our ammo equals 0, so we go straight back to that shot ready equals true. And I'm just going to show you with our flamethrower script, it's just the exact same. So FT, so you need the bull equals true and flamethrower, so the associated float, and that's going to be the ammo current, and then greater than 0, and you just have that all come through. And then that else if statement is just the same. If flamethrower ammo current is equal to or less than 0, then shot ready is going to become true again, and we're going to go back to that default state, as it were. So once you've added all that in, we can return to Unity and we can look at our player, and in the inspector you're going to see a couple of new slots for your game objects. So you just slot in your new shot there, and yeah, you should be good to go at that point. Alright, so you're probably looking at my amazingly designed upgrade icons and wondering, wow, how can I do that? How can I be so illiterate when it comes to art? Well, let me show you guys what I've done. It's very, very simple. So we have, let's go with the flamethrower one. So we have our flamethrower symbol, I've got a Circle Collider 2D. I haven't attached a rigid body because I don't want this to act with gravity or anything like that. There's nothing that's going to push this around or add a force to it, so I'm not too concerned with that. So just a sprite with a Circle Collider attached to it, and then we have a script that's called upgrade script. I'm gonna hit edit, and we can take a look at what our upgrade script is. Very simple script. Player game object, find that object with the tag player, void on trigger enter 2D collider other. So if the game object is our player game object, that object with the tag player, and we're just going to destroy this game object. We're not going to do anything else because everything else is sorted in this shot script. The adding in of our ammo and all that stuff sorted. All we got to do is just have this game object destroy itself once our player comes in contact with it. And the way that we're going to make sure that it actually adds that ammo in is we're going to align the tag for this game object with the tag that we set in our player shot script. So you see I have UGFT. I go to our player shot script, and UGFT is the tag that it's looking for when we set flamethrower ammo current to flamethrower ammo max, and we set all these balls to how they're meant to be. So it's as simple as that, guys. It took me a long time, but that's the way with these things. Sometimes the learning curve is steep, and sometimes the learning curve just teaches you that you are indeed a noob. However, thanks for sticking around, thanks for watching the tutorial, giving this channel so much support and all that good stuff. Guys, if you liked the content that I've shown you, let me know in the comments section what you liked about it, what you didn't like so much, how I can improve these tutorials, make them a little better so you guys can get the picture of what we're doing over here. Make sure you hit subscribe if you're new to the channel and are interested in learning Unity things. We're just doing simple things here, man. If you want a good place to begin, then just, begin with us. Anyway, that has been another tutorial from me, Press Any Button, signing out and saying, guys, press on and keep creating.